name's Adam MacArthur and I'm from Los Angeles, California. Whenever anyone mentions Shaolin Temple, it brings me back to 8 years ago when I had the opportunity to travel there and I got to see the front gates for the first time, the training halls, and I even got to perform there with the Shaolin monks. Shaolin Kung Fu means to me strength, speed, power, and living life humbly and always working hard. Not only do I practice Kung Fu, but I follow the principles of Kung Fu, and it affects all areas of my life. Soon I'll be going to Moscow, where there I'll meet the abbot and watch 100 of his top monks perform in Red Square. After that, we'll be flying to the Shaolin Temple, where we'll spend over 2 weeks digging deep. I'll be getting to spend time with monks. I'll be getting to spend more time with the abbot. After that, we'll head to Los Angeles, where the abbot will join us and oversee a competition held there for competitors all over the U.S. to come and compete against one another. We kicked off our world tour today here in Moscow, where we followed the abbot down to Red Square. It's all being dressed up right now for the International Military Music Festival, Spasska Tower. This afternoon we saw a teaser, sort of informal performance by the Shaolin monks. Teaser or not, it was awesome to watch. It's 1:30 p.m. I'm about to watch the Shaolin monks perform for the first time here in Moscow. Let me get out of their way. And then they started flipping, falling on the cobblestone. The monks went through all the animal styles, so we got to see scorpion. We got to see frog. We saw all different kinds of weapons. We saw straight sword, broadsword, double broadsword, chain whip. This performance was awesome, but it was definitely just a taste of what's to come. Later tonight, the monks are going to be performing on an even larger stage, and I really, really can't wait for that. I just finished watching all the performances here at the International Military Music Festival. They were all amazing. They were all military-based music performances. Some of my favorites were Scotland. They came out full kilts with their bagpipes blaring. South Korea had an awesome performance that opened with Gangnam Style. And to top it all off, we ended with an amazing performance from the Shaolin monks. There were monks everywhere, about 100 of them, doing weapons, empty hand forms, flying all over the place. Everyone in the audience was cheering them on. They were fighting each other. It was awesome to watch. So I'm really excited. I just got to come visit the Shaolin Cultural Center here in Moscow. I met Master Xian Bin, who's been here in Russia teaching for about 7 years. Xian Bin teaches about 60 students per day and overall has about 600 students that he teaches here. Just got out of my first practice here in Moscow and it was really exciting. I felt really happy to be able to come all the way over here to Russia and train Shaolin Kung Fu with other people who have the same passion as I do. Master Xian Bin was kind enough to get his students together and put on a performance for us. I got to see Valerie do a really amazing drunken style Kung Fu. And I got to talk to him later on and I found out, according to doctors, he has a weak heart. But when he practices, he can feel his heart pumping strong and it makes him feel stronger. He's been training for 13 years. And one thing that really stuck with me that he said was that you can train anywhere.
Yeah, on subway. Yeah, you can turn up one leg and stay one leg. Yes, it's a balance. You can take your hand and all this training.
Always training.
Yeah, always.
I got an opportunity to talk to Master Xian Bin. He's come from China to pass on what he's learned there, here in Russia. His students range from 3 to 73. He teaches both men and women. And one thing that really affected me was how in combining the Chan Buddhism and the Kung Fu, he really feels like he's helping people here to have better lives and to improve their lives. And that's how he feels rewarded. He feels like he's passing on what's been passed on to him. That, to him, is the most important thing. After an 8-hour journey from Moscow, we've arrived on the second leg of our world tour. We are here at Shaolin Temple, the birthplace of Chan Buddhism and Chinese martial arts, a mecca for martial artists. I couldn't be more excited to be here. From the moment we set foot inside the temple, I felt like a kid in a candy shop. I couldn't wait to do some moves, throw some kicks, in the birthplace of Kung Fu. As I was walking around the temple, I stumbled on a group of foreigners practicing. They were a group from an entirely different continent. They were from Cameroon, Africa. They've been here for about 2 years, and when I stumbled upon them, they were practicing chain whip, and they were being led by a monk. It was really cool to see a group from not US, not China, practicing so hard and loving Shaolin Kung Fu. The Shaolin Temple has been on this site for over 1,500 years. This magnificent building is the bell tower here at Shaolin. It's been around for nearly 700 years. Now, it used to ring every morning, but now it's only sounded on special occasions. Across from the bell tower is the drum tower. Before, when they would ring the bell in the morning, they would hit the drum at night. The Mahavira Hall is one of the larger halls here at Shaolin. It's about 5 rooms wide and 4 rooms deep. And it goes by a lot of different names. The Hall of Buddha Trinity, 3 Centuries Buddha Hall, Glazed Hall, Mountainous Hall, Treasure Hall, Grand Hall. What I surmised from all the different names is that this hall is very important, which I later found out that it is. It's the home of all the Buddhist activities that take place here at the temple. The Li Shui Pavilion is the second to last pavilion here at Shaolin, and that, along with the Thousand Buddha Hall, were 2 that were not burned down in 1928. Over the long history of the Shaolin Temple, it's been ransacked, burned down multiple times. And a lot of the buildings that we see here, even though they're built on original sites, were built at later dates. The Li Shui Pavilion is the original building. It's been renovated many times, but it's never been completely burnt down. It's also a pavilion solely dedicated to Datmo, the founder of Kung Fu. Super early this morning, we came to the temple. We met a small group of young monks at the Thousand Buddha Hall who were awesome enough to do a performance for us. They were demonstrating all the different famous animal forms of Shaolin. There was snake, we saw duck, which is becoming one of my favorites. It's just such a quirky type of Kung Fu. There was a really young monk who was performing the child's Kung Fu. You have to be really flexible to do it. And his last move, he kicked his leg up and it went behind his head. I don't know what exactly you have to stretch in order to be able to do that, but I haven't been stretching it. There was a young monk who was doing Eagle Claw. His name is Yan Shou. This collection of statues is known as the Pagoda Forest, an ancient burial ground for the most high-ranking and most honorable monks. Now, normally you're not even allowed in here, but we've been invited by the Shaolin monks themselves to watch them perform on this sacred ground. Shifu, Qing. The juxtaposition between the serenity of this place and their intensity really accentuated their power and how strong these guys are. They were swinging everything from broadswords, staff, chain whips, bull whips, the tiger hook swords. They had a vast array of weaponry. It was awesome to watch. One thing that really impressed me about the monks' performance today was there was a group performance and all the monks were completely in sync, powerful in the same way. And they moved as one. It was almost like a small army. It was really impressive to watch them working together as one. It's really hard for me to watch a performance like I watched today and not get really excited. They've literally been in the temple since they were kids. And I've been doing Kung Fu since I was 11, and I'm a Kung Fu nerd at heart, and I would tell anybody that I eat, sleep, live, breathe Kung Fu. When I see it, I want to do it. Sometimes when I'm not even thinking about it, I'm doing it. Getting an opportunity to work with these guys who also have the same passion and who have been here doing it for so long means so much to me. Today I had some time to spend with the abbot in the abbot's room here at the temple, and here's what I learned. Tell us about your childhood in Anhui and how you came to Shaolin and eventually became abbot.
30年前，我是从安徽一个农村，走到少林寺的。
He told me he came to the Shaolin Temple 30 years ago from a small village in the Anhui province. That he came because he heard how famous the Shaolin Temple was. What is Chan Buddhism?
禅意，它是一种生活方式。
He explained that Chan is a combination of Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism. And it's not only important to Chinese culture, but Asian culture as a whole. He described Shaolin Kung Fu as a vast and well-respected martial arts system that's over 1,500 years old.
少林寺里，在中国改革开放。
He said that the past 30 years has been one of the best times for the Shaolin Temple because of China's open door policy. It's been a great time for the Shaolin Temple to rebuild, protect, and preserve its Shaolin culture. Why do you set up Shaolin cultural centers across the world?
因为少林文化，它是建立在，少林。
He explained that Chan culture is a product of cultural exchange, and that it belongs to people of the world. They've been invited to different cities and environments to set up these cultural centers. There are over 100 different cultural centers in cities across the world. When was the name Shaolin trademarked, and why?
因为经济的全球化，对我们传统的。
He explained that the growth of the world economy has impacted culture all over the world, and that the name Shaolin was being used without a clear identity. So about 10 years ago, he used the legal system to trademark the name Shaolin in different parts of the world, so that they could provide true Shaolin culture and spirit to the world. How do you feel about being referred to as the Kung Fu CEO?
CEO 不应该是个贬义词。
He said that CEO is normally a term that's used in business, and even though people hold it in high regard, that it's not appropriate for a monk. Although, he doesn't really mind it.
它是一种。
磕头面着山寨苦，实在那把难面结束。只要那行善把事做，老祖那关内无在。
After a 2.5-mile hike from the Shaolin Temple up the Song Mountains, I've arrived at Da Mo's cave, the location where Da Mo traveled into the mountains to meditate for 9 years. It was there he created Chan Buddhism, also known as Zen Buddhism. Da Mo's cave is about 10 feet wide and 22 feet deep, which is a really small area to be in for 9 years. Da Mo needed a way to stay in shape while he was in here meditating for so long. So he created certain movements, and those movements later became early forms of Shaolin Kung Fu. Today I had another chance to practice with the monks. And a lot of people think that Shaolin Kung Fu is really flowery and it's all for performance and, oh, you wouldn't use those weapons in modern day times and all this stuff. And there is some validity to that. These guys do have a stage show here that they perform for tourists after tourists. And I think they exaggerate a lot of the forms that they do, and I think a lot of it's catered more towards performance. But I've gotten to spend a lot of time with these guys. From seeing them move up close, I can tell that their martial arts skill is real. Whether or not they're using a weapon you wouldn't use nowadays, it doesn't matter. Their skill is there, they're strong. I had another extremely special opportunity to learn from two great masters here at Shaolin, Sifu Shi Yanao and Shi Yanzhuang. Now these guys are the pinnacle of Shaolin Kung Fu. They are what all the monks strive to be. So not only did I get a chance to learn from them, I also got a chance to watch them perform. When Master Shi Yan performed the 18 Damo hands, you could tell the emphasis in that form was on the dantian, which is the area right below your belly button. That's where qi, where your internal energy is created. There's a part at the beginning where you, it's coming from your internal power, coming from your dantian. The way he would hit and strike, it was all coming from, it's also known as your center. So it was all coming from his center. And his whole body would move. It was really, really amazing to watch. During Master Shi Yan Zhuang's form, soft hands, the emphasis was a little bit different. It was not on, boom, super powerful movements. It was on the soft, controlled, connecting your breath with your movements, and then when the time is right, boom, exploding. The amazing thing watching him is how his power is connected from the floor up to the dantian and then into his hands. So no matter where he moves, the power is coming through his entire body. It was a beautiful display of martial arts. I'm at the United Nations building in New York City, where for the first time, Abbot Shiyong Shin is leading a delegation of monks here to perform. The performance tonight at the UN was amazing. Now I know from traveling with the monks that they're jet lagged, they're not really eating as well as they normally do, and they're tired. But when they got on stage tonight, you could tell that the pride that they have for Shaolin is what drove them.
Today we host this ceremony to introduce the Shaolin Temple to the United Nations. Tonight happens to mark the first time the Shaolin Temple has made an appearance here at the United Nations.
Wendy Williams, who has her own talk show in over 52 countries, was here tonight and she was hosting, so that was really cool. Shaolin culture stands for bridging the gap between countries, between religions, between cultures, and the UN is the perfect platform for that. And it was really amazing to be here to see them performing for everyone. Our world tour following the Shaolin monks has brought us to our final destination, my hometown, Los Angeles, California. I'm here at the Shaolin Cultural Center in East Los Angeles. It was established in 2008 by 7 monks from the Shaolin Temple and is home to over 400 students. Today the monks were giving a seminar for local students to come and to learn some Shaolin Kung Fu. There was a section for students. They were learning the Ba Da Jin, which is one of the early forms that Damo brought to the temple. It's really good for exercising. It's a lot slower. It's not so rigorous. It's more for overall health. It's very similar to Qigong. The Shaolin Cultural Center hosts master classes where teachers from other schools can come and learn authentic Shaolin, then take it back to their schools and pass it on to their students. But they were doing a little bit more of the hard style Shaolin, more of the learning the application of the movement. So they would learn a part of a form and they would learn how to apply that on their partner. So they were working in groups. At today's master class, there was 17 students from all different parts of the US and Canada. The city of Los Angeles is a melting pot for all kinds of different cultures. And the abbot is really smart and he knew that. And that's why he set up the Shaolin Cultural Center here so that he could be ensured that traditional, authentic Shaolin Kung Fu could be spread in such a culturally diverse area. Today there was a competition at the Los Angeles Convention Center, and let me say, it was an amazing turnout. There were over 3,000 people in attendance. 1,000 of those were competitors. This event was attended by people from all over the world. The Canadian Shaolin Cultural Center was there. There were people from all over the US. I even met a gentleman from Brazil. The amazing thing too is that they were all there for one reason, and that is Shaolin Kung Fu. It didn't matter their religion, their ethnicity. Shaolin brought everyone together.
Kung Fu is like an art. Taekwondo is a sport because it's in the Olympics.
So far, I've benefited from Kung Fu by getting competitive again in a sport and having something to do in my more mature adult life, so I've benefited a lot from it.
The performance really showcased all the monks' skills. We also got to see some Qigong. One of the monks did a handstand on 2 fingers. They did some fight scenes, which were really exciting to watch. Shifu Yanzhuang came out in the middle, and then there was about 20 monks circling them and surrounding them, and they told the story about a group coming to attack Shaolin, and these 3 monks had to protect their teacher. I haven't, up until this point, seen the monks put this much energy into a performance. And it was just really awesome to see Shaolin displayed in such a theatrical way.
Ladies and gentlemen, what do you say? I think they deserve a standing ovation. What do you say?
I hope that on our world tour you found something to love about Shaolin. As the abbot put it, Shaolin belongs to the world. And no matter how the world changes, Shaolin will always be Shaolin. Goodbye for now.